If oil is a foundation of modern industrial systems, then the question becomes unavoidable. Where is the oil actually located, and more importantly, who truly control it? At first glance, the answer seems simple. Control should belong to those who own the resources, but in reality, the structure is far more complex. Let us start with the reserves. Global proven oil reserves are estimated at approximately 1.7 trillion barrels. Nearly half of these reserves are concentrated in the Middle East. The countries such as Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, Kuwait, and United Arab Emirates together account for a significant share of global oil reserves. Saudi Arabia alone holds more than 260 billion barrels of proven reserves. From a purely geological perspective, this suggests that control should be highly concentrated in this region. However, the reserves doesn't equal control. To understand the real influence, we need to look at production. In recent years, the United States sure has become the world's largest oil producer with output exceeding 20 million barrels per day. Saudi Arabia and Russia followed closely, each producing around 10 million barrels per day. This creates a structural divergence. The country with the largest production is not the one with the largest reserves. This shift is largely driven by technological innovation. The shale revolution in the United States, enabled by horizontal drilling, hydraulic fracturing, and unlocked previous inaccessible resources. This highlights an important principle. Technology can reshape resource economic, but it doesn't eliminate structural constraint. Now we move to a third dimension, which is often overlooked: export. The oil only becomes geopolitical relevant when it moves. Saudi Arabia exports roughly 7 million barrels per day, making it one of the most important suppliers to the global market. By contrast, the United States, despite being the largest producer, consumes a large portion of its own output domestically. The United States consumes close to 20 million barrels per day, making it both the largest producer and the largest consumer. This leads to a critical distinction. Some countries produce oil, others export oil, and these are not always the same. Now, let us take one more step forward and examine flows. Oil doesn't simply exist in the ground or at the wellhead. It moves through a global network of pipelines, shaping routes and refining systems. A significant portion of global oil trade passes through a small number of strategic choke points. The Strait of Hormuz carries roughly 20% of global oil trade. The Strait of Malacca serves as a critical arteries for Asian energy imports, particularly for China, Japan, and South Korea. This creates a different type of concentration, not in resources, but in movement. If these choke points are disrupted, the impact on global supply chain can be immediate and severe. Now, let us bring this layer together. Control of oil is not determined by a single factor. It emerges from the interaction of multiple dimensions. Reserves define potential, production defines output, exports define influence, flows define control. And above all of this says coordination. Organizations such as the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, together with the key partner countries, coordinate production levels and influence the global supply. This group collectively control a large share of global reserves and a significant portion of production capacity. And this means that oil is not governed by pure market forces. It is shaped by structural coordination. If we step back, a clear picture emerges. Oil is not static resources. It is a dynamic system of flows, infrastructure, and decision making. And that system control doesn't come from ownership alone. It comes from the ability to influence how oil is produced, transported, and distributed. The control of oil is not about where it is located. It is about who control its movement across the global system. If oil is governed not only by supply and demand, but also by coordination and control, then the next question becomes even more important. Is oil really traded in a free market, or is it shaped by deeper structural forces? In the next episode, we will examine why oil markets are naturally free.